Hey, what's up, everybody? Apologies for the late start. Believe it or not, I accidentally had fallen asleep. But again, as you guys all join in, please hit the like button, share it out. I would appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Again, I'm not going to be around tonight for Crossfire, and I haven't really done a podcast for a little bit, but here I am doing a podcast, just a little short little podcast, just to kind of talk about this, because I did have some stuff I wanted to take and talk about, and talk about this stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm here. As you get here, please hit the like button, share it out. Sorry I'm so late. I actually, to be honest with you guys, I was at work today. I wanted to talk about this stuff. I got stuff I got to do tonight, so I can't make Crossfire. Obviously, I've been a little bit busy with Xbox Nation. Hasn't happened for a couple weeks as well for a while. Things should be getting back to normal next week for me in that regard, but I did want to talk about this, particularly since it's a topic near and dear to my heart. And so I got home, and I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and set up this room and everything like that. And so I did it, and then I was like, I'll just close my eyes for, a couple of winks. And and next thing I know, I just got up and I was like, man, about an hour had passed. So yeah, that sort of happens to me. I know I'm getting older, whatever. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. What's up, Fran? I see a lot of cool people. What's up, Respawn, EDM Gamer? What's going on? How's it going? Hopefully you guys are all doing incredibly well, and your weeks are coming to an end. Wow, I got a lot of dislikes already on this video. Huh. It's going to be one of those, huh? I get it. Look, people don't like to talk about the negativity or the negative side of video games and stuff like that, and I completely understand that. But I also want to say that it's one of those things that just is part of the industry, man. You got to take the good with the bad, and sometimes Microsoft, they got to learn the hard way. You got to understand. I get told this a lot when I bring something up. I get told, well, crap, the industry's changing, and so, they got to be sure, they got to do things differently, and so they're looking at success differently now, blah, blah, blah. So this is what I get told constantly whenever I bring up anything about Xbox in terms of sales or anything like that, right? I get told, well, you know what, this is the way it is. You shouldn't count it. It doesn't mean it's not a success, blah, blah, blah. So, again, that's just kind of how I get told things now, right? Like, here we go. We had this situation with Microsoft and Gears of War 5. We knew we would get some kind of numbers, some kind of confirmation that something was either one way or the other regarding, like, the amount of numbers and things like that. Hey, what's up, Eddie T? What's up? I see a lot of people. WR Cup. Hey, man, sorry your Browns are terrible, dude. I told you, man. That's so Cleveland. That's so Cleveland. You know what I mean? So hopefully you guys, get it together, but not too much, because you guys, I think, what are you playing? You guys are playing the Patriots next or something. So yeah, not too much. I think you guys are about to be 2-5, and so that's pretty much what I expected the Browns to be this year, this generation at this point. So, again, we'll see you later on this year, too, when we play you again. I'm just saying. So, again, it's just one of those fun things. What's up, TLR9? Yeah, I know, those poor Browns, right? They're terrible. The Browns are the Xbox of football, right? You want to love them, but you just can't, because they suck so bad, right? It's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I wanted to talk about, you know what I mean? I think that it's something that, I think that it's something that's going to be a big problem for them going forward. It's definitely going to be, a big problem. And here we go. We knew that sales were going to be down for Gears of War. Now, first of all, I want to start by saying I'm a huge Gears of War fan, or at least I was. Okay, there, for numerous reasons or whatever, I haven't been, I haven't been as, active with Gears as I normally would. Gears is a game that I would usually be super excited about. I'd be in there. I'd be, getting the collector's edition, the special edition, all that kind of good stuff. What's up, T-Rock40? I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out here and, supporting the channel and stuff like that. At any rate, yeah, as you guys get in here, please hit the like button, share it out. I would appreciate that. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about this. So I like Gears. I think that Gears has been a really good franchise for Microsoft. But with that being said, it's pretty clear that Gears of War is no longer that franchise that a lot of us bought an Xbox 360 for. It's not that franchise that amazing franchise that we all have come to know and love from that particular standpoint. And I hate to say that, but it's the fact of the matter is true. When Gears of War released, it used to be an NPD lock for Xbox. Not only was Gears of War going to be like the top selling game, or at least in the top few, it was going to be a win for the Xbox hardware. People buy an Xbox to get Gears of War, okay? They buy an Xbox for this. So the fact of the matter is, Gears of War is no longer that game that pushes consoles for Microsoft. It's no longer that amazing, awe-inspiring franchise, and I think people are trying to finally come to terms with that. I did see some damage control. Okay, so the funny part was when the NPD came out last night, and we saw the numbers, right? We saw the numbers that was kind of going on with Gears 5, okay? Which, by the way, it placed number 7. Oh, excuse me, I'm still tired. It placed number 7 overall, okay? So it was number 7, and this includes digital sales, by the way. So you can't say, well, no, it didn't count digital sales, because it does count digital sales. It didn't count the, whatever the Steam sales were, which, by the way, there's so few people. The height of Steam have been, 10,000 players. So, yeah, that's not really going to make a difference. Now, what we see is quite clear that Gears of War, coming in at number 7, is no longer the behemoth that it once was. Okay? I understand that people are going to probably try to damage control. That's not really my concern. I'm just saying this game is no longer what it was. This franchise no longer pushes Xbox sales. And this game has kind of changed away from what it was all about to something that, a lot of people, myself included, just aren't really sure of. Now, I'm not saying that the game isn't a good game in and of itself, because I think that would be foolish. I think that it is a pretty good game, but I don't know if it's a good Gears of War game, okay? Somewhere along the line, Microsoft decided to make a game that was specifically catered towards a certain kind of audience, and Gears of War is that game, okay? They claimed up and down that, they weren't going to make games specifically for Game Pass, and Game Pass subscriptions have nothing to do with how they designed the game. And then they basically designed a game that is a premium game that has $20 skin add-ons for 2 skins, okay? That, to me, screams that they don't know what they're doing. They're trying to go the free-to-play route with their biggest franchise and hoping that whales spend a lot of money on these loot boxes and these loot crates, okay? It's utterly ridiculous. And I'm saying that as a fan or a former fan of this franchise. You spend, some people still, you can't go, oh, well, I only spent $1 on it. I get it. But as long as you're still selling this game for $60 to someone, you've got the, I think you have to have like the some kind of gall about you to sell, $80, $100 worth of skins. To me, like, people go, oh, well, this is better. You can just get what you want or not. You know what would have been better, in my opinion? Just a $25 season pass or something that gets you everything when it comes out, instead of charging people, nickeling, diming people, $20 for 2 skins, $8 for a kill animation. Are you kidding me? And they wonder why nobody's sticking around on Gears. I understand that people are going to damage control this. I get it. That's the cool thing to do. CG's crazy. He's just salty. He's jealous. He's this. He's that. I get it. Okay? People don't like that I'm honest about this. But Gears of War coming in at number 7. Gears is a $1 billion franchise for Microsoft. $1 billion. the first 3 games had $27 million or sold 27 million copies. Okay, 27 million. This was before Gears 4 even came out, and I'm sure Gears 4 underperformed. I've heard that they were disappointed with the sales of it. I mean, really blame yourselves for putting lackluster characters in it. But why, oh why, would anybody claim that, oh, Gears coming in at 7 is a good thing? This franchise has beaten many, many top franchises. So don't give me that stuff. Well, it really went against some heavy-hitting games with Madden and, you know, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Like, give me a break. Ghost Recon Breakpoint's a heavy hitter. You know, I get the NBA 2K deal or whatever, but FIFA 20 in the U.S. is really going to outsell. You know what I mean? You barely come above Code Vein, a game that I never even heard of. Code Vein, okay, was number 8 behind Gears. That, to me, says everything you need to know. And Microsoft touted those 3 million players, quote-unquote, that first week when they were giving this stuff away for absolutely next to nothing. Absolutely nothing. They were really, giving it away. But for me personally, I just think that it's a little bit ridiculous that anybody would go out of their way to sort of damage control this and act like the sales haven't been affected, or that this franchise is what it once was. Clearly, they're not going after the hardcore anymore, okay? They don't care about the hardcore. If you go, I don't know what kind of person might be damage controlling these numbers, but if you go to the actual Gears of War forums, all you see are people, the hardcore Gears fans, unhappy with the direction of Gears. It's like Microsoft fails to pay attention to anything. They absolutely fail. Judah says, but it beat FIFA 20. That was released September 27th. Exactly. One Typical says it's not a failure, people, but it's a clear decline. Well, I mean, listen, that's kind of your opinion. I do think that it's a, that it is. Okay, Markman05 says the MPD is based off of revenue and not units sold, so that may not be factual. That's on that. It's doing bad, specifically when you include Game Pass. Well, listen, if your revenue is down that much, let me just be clear on this. Gears of War 4 placed number 3 on the MPD 3 years ago. So it's obviously down. When you factor in Game Pass, what? You think even if 3 million paying full price for Game Pass at $15, which they didn't, because why would you when you can get it for $1? That's not making up for this game. What I'm trying to say is people are like, Microsoft is still making money. That's all they care about. Listen, I got to be honest. I understand that people think that Microsoft is making money. Let me be clear with this. Microsoft made $0 off of Gears of War 5. $0. This game, which you want to know why Epic Games sold this game, this franchise, this IP to Microsoft in the first place? You want to know why? And you can look this up. They sold it to Microsoft because it was getting too expensive to produce the games, right? It was getting too expensive. And you might go, oh, well, what's that mean, too expensive? Well, they were saying that it was going to cost upwards of $100 million a piece to make these games. Now, Microsoft is a $1 trillion company, so they should have no problem covering those costs. $100 million is nothing to them, I guess, like, unless you want to talk about this generation, because then it's been like incredibly next to nothing in terms of what they've actually made or created. So yeah, it is a little bit interesting to see how far they've fallen. And as you guys all come in here, please hit the like button and share it out. I really do appreciate it. Again, I just feel like, in my opinion, that Microsoft has really let everybody down. They let the Gears community down. They let us gamers get down, the Xbox fans. We've all been just let down to the point where, we just kind of can expect the worst. And at least from my point of view, that's what I tend to do now when it comes to Xbox. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But listen, Gears of War, right? No matter who I don't know who you guys might listen to, and it's not a knock on another YouTuber or anybody else, but anybody that tries to damage control this, let me just say this. Phil Spencer swore up and down that Game Pass helps game sales, right? And listen, he might be right when it comes to something like Bob's Straw Simulator, okay? Nobody was going to play that. Maybe somebody downloaded off on Game Pass and decided to buy it for $1.99. That might have helped that sales because they were never going to get a sale to begin with. When it comes to something like Gears of War, people are going to play it for that $1, and then they're going to be done with it. And that's what we're seeing. So, a month after launch, or actually 5 weeks after launch now, okay? We are 5 weeks pretty much exactly after launch. This game came in at number 7 on the MPD, which is the lowest ever for a Gears of War game. No, Xbox One came in last place in the MPD. Again, I believe the last Xbox win for MPD was Gears of War 4. So it's pretty clear that Gears of War used to be a franchise that could win NPD for Microsoft. And now we're seeing that not only does it not win NPD, but nobody's rushing out to buy an Xbox. Nobody's rushing out to buy it. Like, the digital sales weren't good enough to say, well, they're playing it on PC definitively or anything like that, because we see the charts, and nobody's playing this game on PC either. So you have the decline, right? It charts the lowest ever. And think about this. I'm about to blow your minds, okay? Gears of War charted at number 7 at its release. Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 both charted 1 and 2 respectively at their own release, and they had multiple competition. In fact, State of Decay 2, as bad as that game is, knocked God of War out of the top spot on the NPD when it released that first week. So don't tell me, oh, it's the Game Pass effect, blah, blah, blah. Because you know what else was in Game Pass day and date? Those 2 games, State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves. So anybody that tries to damage control it, your boy CG's got the hashtag facts, and the facts are that Microsoft ruined the Gears of War franchise since they haven't. They are to what Gears of War, what Disney is to Star Wars. That's right, I said it. I'm the only one with the balls to talk about this, and yes, I just said it. They're the ones that have ruined this franchise. Listen, why should Gears of War, when you think about that, before Microsoft owned it, what did you think about? You thought about, it's a dude bro shooter, right? It was this classic dude bro shooter, these testosterone guys. I mean, yeah, it had women in it, no offense there, because I think that's fine. But it was, Marcus and Dom and their bros, and, Dom's wife, Maria, and then it had the fun Coltrane and the fun Baird with the little, one-liner. And it was just goofy fun, okay? With sort of a sentimental story there. I remember when Dom died, being pretty upset about it. We were all like, man, that sucks. We were really into this game. Then we get these new characters that absolutely suck, okay? Their backstories suck. Their characters suck. The games are terrible. The stories aren't good. They try to prop Kate Diaz up as some Wonder Woman, and it just doesn't work. It did not work, She's not a good character. I see this commercial for Gears 5 almost every day on Hulu, multiple times a day. It's Kate with some kind of chick rock song playing in the background, and it's just Kate fighting people with some song, right? Like, it should be called Kate Diaz, not Gears 5, because it's not a Gears game. What's wrong with just being a dude bro? Why? We can all only be who we are, no more, no less. So why is it that Gears can't just be Gears, right? A dude bro, simple dude bro shooter. Why does it have to be something it's not? Why does it got to be something that, that it doesn't have to be, that it shouldn't have to be? I don't understand that at all. That really is partly my point. You know what I mean? Exactly, TLR9. They don't even call it Of War anymore. And if you guys are just joining me, please get me to over 100 likes. I would appreciate it. Your guys' support keeps me going on with this stuff. I'm just saying, so if I could get to 100 likes, it really helps out the channel. And again, I point out during my live streams that, if no matter who it is that you support, make sure you like their videos, because that really does, help them or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it might not understand it, and you might not be able to support or donate or anything like that, but a simple like on a video really does help a lot. So absolutely, I appreciate it. So I'm saying exactly what a lot of people don't really say. Let's see. V-Trex says, crap, I was just like you before, disappointed with Xbox, but since then I've learned to accept what Xbox has really become, and now I find enjoyment out of it. You should just learn to accept it and let it go. Well, I'm never going to just accept it and let it go. I've spent so much money. You know what I mean? Hold on. 9 lives. Here we go. This is the comment I was waiting for. 9 lives, ladies and gentlemen. He says, Gears 5 at 7 is good considering it's in Game Pass. Stop fear-mongering. So, I'm fear-mongering, right? So you think it being number 7, even though this is a franchise that people thought would rival Halo this generation and be bigger than Halo, right? People actually thought we're saying that. They were like, you know, Halo's getting a little stale. Gears has really surpassed it, blah, blah, blah. And now we know that that hasn't happened, right? So number 7, when this franchise actually used to be a console seller, but the biggest piece of evidence that I can give you, my friend, 9 lives, that absolutely is not fear-mongering, is there's this list on Xbox One that says top played games, and Gears of War 5 is almost out of the top 20. Last year's Madden 19, ranks and has more players active on it right now than Gears of War 5. So a Madden game that released in August of 2018 has more active players than Gears of War 5 that released 5 weeks ago. Now, if that's fear-mongering, I apologize. But where I come from, we call those hashtag facts, okay? There's no fear-mongering about it. That game is about to drop out of the top 20. You know, I wouldn't doubt it when Modern Warfare releases if it drops out of the top 30, okay? That's how bad it's going to be. Let's see. Obscura Art says, crap, if you aren't like a commercial for Xbox, you are fear-mongering. Act more like a commercial. Sorry, I can't do it, man. I want to bring the truth, man, and nothing but the truth. And, you know, it's just the way that it's got to be. Eddie T says Gears 5 was decent, but not the amazing game people were expecting. Listen. Gears 5 is a good game, but it's not a good Gears game. I keep saying this, just like I said this about Halo as well. Okay, Halo 5 is a good first-person shooter, but it's just not a good Halo game. Okay, you know, it's serviceable. Like, Halo 5 had the worst story out of any Halo game, right? Even ODST. Like, I like the mystery behind ODST. But even given that, how do you mess up Halo so bad as to, you know, ruin it to where people don't want to play it? And it's just, like, so bad that you mess up Halo so bad, in fact, that they take 5 years to make the next one. And even then, people are leaving left and right. Like, people don't leave happy situations. People don't leave a studio a year before release of a game because they're happy. You know, I'm just going to leave it at that, because people want to damage control that, and I'm sure we'll see other people damage control that, but it's not a good sign. Okay? Extended development, people leaving the development team, that's never a good sign, people. And let me say this before anybody brings up the Naughty Dog comparison. Okay? I get it. People left Naughty Dog, and Uncharted 4 still turned out amazing. Naughty Dog is the best developer in the world right now. Okay? 343 Industries is a cover band for Bungie. Okay? They're a cover band and nothing more. They've put out a couple of average Halo games. One, Halo 4, had a good story but a bad multiplayer. And their second game, Halo 5, had a bad story and good multiplayer, but only eventually. That really launched with bare bones multiplayer, no forge mode, all kinds of transactions, okay? So don't tell me that everything's going to be okay when this team hasn't proven that they can actually do Halo, okay? I'm sorry, but that's just the facts. Again, you know, the facts are hard to beat. And when it comes to me, I just think that it's like a lot of people have a problem really kind of accepting a lot of these things, you know, and it does kind of suck that, you know, these games, these franchises that were so beloved and so amazing, you know, just fall from grace so completely. And, you know, that's really unfortunate, you know, it's really bad. So Enrico, what's up, Enrico? He's supporting the channel. He's a member. You guys can become a member too. JFast says, I picked up Halo 5 for $8 on eBay. You paid $5 too much, my friend. Enrico says, a game must not just worth your money, but your time too. Saying it is a good game for Game Pass means nothing to me if it's not worth my time. This is another thing, okay? I'm a huge Gears of War fan. You might not believe that I'm a hardcore Gears fan, because I have a Gears tattoo. I get it. But the fact that I've put hundreds and hundreds of hours in Gears of War multiplayer in the past, and now I'm putting 0 hours into it because of the changes. Look at the forums. I implore you. Look at the forums, the Gears of War forums. It's filled with unhappy hardcore gamers, okay? You want to know who the guy who runs the online community is? I think his name is Node Zero on Twitter. And he ran a poll yesterday. And it was like, what's the biggest problem you have with Gears of War 5? And there was four questions, and the most popular one was other, okay? And he goes, if it's other, explain in the comments. And everybody, for the most part, was like, allow us to disable crossplay with PC on arcade mode, okay? So they don't understand their own audience enough to realize that people want nothing to do with PC crossplay with people that have the ability to, you know, control so much in terms of what they can do with their PC. Now listen, you guys might not realize this. It's not just a frames per second or a resolution or something like that. There's much more that goes into PC versus console, okay? I'll give you an example. The reason why there's no PUBG crossplay with PC, I can tell you right now why. Because on PC, you can turn down the foliage to where there's next to none. Okay, you could have the best rig in the world, but people turn down the foliage. So on your screen, if you have it turned up, you think you're hiding in the grass. But on somebody else's screen who has the foliage turned down, they can see you. You just look like an idiot out there in the dirt. Okay? Like this kind of stuff, these advantages, they're real advantages. This is why crossplay with PC makes the least amount of sense. Okay? And the ability to not turn that off ruins the game. They ruined Sea of Thieves. You might go, well, Sea of Thieves isn't even a competitive game. It doesn't matter. The crossplay stuff, the inability to turn that off, brought cheaters into the game. And I haven't been back. I went back one time, and that's it. I was a huge Sea of Thieves fan, and I haven't gone back because of it. Microsoft ruins their stuff over and over again. What do you think they're going to do with Halo Infinite? Halo Infinite is 100% going to have crossplay. And it's 100% probably going to be just like Gears of War 5, where as long as it's ranked, you can have the ability to turn it off. But, you know, ranked Halo players are like the best of the best, okay? I don't want to play ranked if I'm playing multiplayer. I want to play something more casual. But then I'm stuck playing against people with a mouse and keyboard. So it's like you get slapped either way. They don't really take this stuff into consideration because they're trying to put everybody into the same player pool, and it doesn't work. It does not work for everything, and it's ridiculous to think that it does. And to me, it's just super sad that Microsoft keeps pushing this, and they keep pushing this agenda, you know, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Nine Live says, crap, just quit Xbox already. My friend, I can't tell you the last time that I was on Xbox. Maybe it was a month ago, okay? You know, again, I'm still going to talk about this stuff. Hold on. Pony Slayer says, you don't understand people's roles, crap. If you talk to people in the industry, Mary gave timeline directions. Her role was done. You take that and fearmonger. Can't listen to the uninformed. Listen, Microsoft were the ones that came out with the they came out with the press release talking about what that lady did for 343. That's not fearmongering. She's not the only one to leave. How many people left 343 after the launch of Halo 5 and now going to the next Halo? Okay, let's look at what's happened under the 343 banner. You had Halo 4, which people hated because of the multiplayer. You had Halo Master Chief Collection, which is still broken. They're still beta testing this game 5 years after it released. And Halo 5, which has undoubtedly the worst single player of all time because Microsoft shoehorned a bunch of characters in that nobody cared about, okay? And people wanted to play as freaking Master Chief. Again, the same problem with Gears of War. Why can Gears of War just not be the dude bro shooter that it is? Why can Halo not just be freaking Master Chief, right? Why do you got to shoehorn a bunch of people into it that doesn't make sense? You know what I'm saying? This is a problem. This is a problem. So I actually do know what I'm talking about, you know? You know, if you guys don't understand, then that's fine. If you disagree, that's fine. But I'm telling you that this is a big problem for Microsoft because people want something else. It's clear that they want something else. And Microsoft has no idea what to do with their franchises, okay? They just obviously have no idea, you know? I just think that it's something that they absolutely have zero clue in. You know, they obviously have no freaking clue with what they're doing or where their franchises are going. Even the stuff like Forza Horizon, right? Which I was a huge Forza Horizon fan. Hate to pull the hipster card, but I was playing Forza Horizon well before anybody else. I remember when that franchise was announced on the original Xbox 360, I was like, oh man, this is exactly what I've been asking for, you know, like this kind of open world game, and it was amazing. And what happened? Microsoft got a hold of it and milked it. They milked it. They milked it. They milked it. They milked it. Okay? Forza Horizon 3 probably should have been the last one we got this generation, but instead they pushed out another one that was almost it felt like an expansion to Forza Horizon 3, but it also felt like it had no story, no soul, just the games as a service atmosphere. So again, that's the game that I spent the least amount of time. The more Microsoft has gone on with these games and the way that they're doing things with games as a service, the less time I've spent on their games, even the really good ones. Like Forza Horizon was my favorite franchise, right? If it wasn't for Forza Horizon, I don't even think there would have been a reason to own an Xbox this generation. But again, Forza Horizon 3 may be the greatest racing game of all time. And then you go to Forza Horizon 4, and it's a good game, no doubt. But they take the key essence of the whole festival and the chill factor out of it, and they try to force everybody to play together. Oh, here's this person. Here's your daily. It's like, why are you going to turn that into Destiny, man? It's just a racing game. Why does it got to be connected with everything? I don't understand. Like, not everybody and not everything needs to be like that. Microsoft, like, they don't get it. They don't understand gamers. They really don't understand gamers. And that's really, really unfortunate. Pony Slayer, there's a huge difference here, okay? We're on our sixth overall Gears, okay? And then all of a sudden on the sixth one, they change it and make it out like the Dude Bro thing is bad and we should be ashamed that it was a Dude Bro shooter all along, versus the second Last of Us game, which we really don't have any idea what they're doing. But Naughty Dog, I mean, you can give them kind of credit for what they've done. You know what I mean? In the past, I mean, they didn't change up Uncharted. Like, imagine Uncharted, 4 would have been somebody else or whatever. Like, I'm sure they'll probably reboot that franchise at some time. Maybe it's his daughter or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, you know, imagine Uncharted 3 all of a sudden was just some other character, you know, just because. Like, that doesn't make sense. And the whole Gears thing, they tried to say it was going to be organic, but it doesn't make sense. They did it specifically for the way that the culture is nowadays, right? And it didn't help them. And look, people talk about it in the forums, right? But they get their posts deleted. People talk about it on Twitter. They talk about it on different forums and things like that. The truth of the matter is they went after a certain kind of audience. They tried to casualize Gears of War. They even said so. Rod Ferguson did a Polygon interview, and he mentioned that they built Gears of War 5 specifically for Game Pass to attract noobs, right? He wanted to bring in noobs. He wanted to make it super casual. They brought in a new mode for noobs. They did a little demo at the beginning, the boot camp for noobs, right? And he tried to make it out like the hardcore were cool with this, but the hardcore weren't cool with this, right? The hardcore weren't cool with the changes that they made to the shotgun and not having, not having active reload by a power advantage when you hit your active reloads. I mean, these are staples of Gears of War that they completely changed. So yeah, I know what I'm talking about because I was a Gears player for years. So yeah, like, I definitely have to say that this is a bit of a problem for them. And Thomas, nobody said Days Gone was a game of the year, dude. Like, seriously, nobody ever said that. I think that it's a good game, okay? I think it's a good game, but it's obviously not game of the year. And again, props to Sony for allowing a team to do a new AAA IP on that scope. And not only that, but people liked it enough to buy it to where we're going to get a sequel. Now, what games has Microsoft put out AAA new IPs that we'll get a sequel to? Tell me. I'll wait. Because what sequels have we seen this entire generation to anything we've asked for? Did we get a Rise sequel? Did we get a Sunset Overdrive sequel? Did we get a Killer Instinct sequel? Did we get a Quantum Break sequel? Alan Wake? I mean, that was last gen, but did we get one? No. What sequel did we get? What new AAA exclusives have we got announced since 2015. That was the last one. And believe it or not, some people don't even think this was one. Sea of Thieves was the last AAA new IP announcement from Microsoft. And some people don't consider it a AAA. I do. But that announcement was made in 2015, and that was the last new AAA IP. We're almost in 2020, and the last new AAA IP was 2015. So, yeah, like I love it when people try to call me out or try to say I'm this or that or the other thing. One Typical says Super Lucky Tales 2. We haven't seen that. Let's see. TLR9 says Crackdown. Yeah, exactly. We got Crackdown. We got Halo Wars 2. We got Undead. State of Decay 2, which was so bad that it has a button where you can go back. Because they know you're going to get stuck. We know that you're going to get stuck. Thomas says, you say Xbox has no games, but Sony has Days Gone. That sucked, and you don't talk about it. I did a review on it. I liked it. If you talk about people that just are very unbiased about the games that they played this year, most of them will say Days Gone was far better than what the score advocated. I'm not going to sit there and try to pitch the game to you. I'm just going to say it's an open world, fantastic game with amazing graphics. People had some bugs at the beginning, but I'll tell you what, I never had a bug where I couldn't progress. But you know what game I did have a bug where I couldn't progress multiple times? Gears of War 5, right? So, again, this was a studio's first time. The first time they've made a AAA console-exclusive game for Sony in 20 years. And they did it. And sure, it had some issues. But at the end of the day, it did well enough to warrant a sequel. And it did well enough for people to really buy it. I think it's the 6th best-selling exclusive or 7th best-selling PS4 exclusive of this generation per the NPD. So, clearly it was successful. And they're going to do a sequel. Okay? Now, with that being said, when it comes to Gears of War, I'm sure we'll get a sequel. People damage control it. 3 million players, right? We heard 3 million players, but they gave this game away. They gave this game away for $1. And 40 million Xbox Ones or whatever. Some people think 46 million. Let's say 46 million. I'll give it to you. 46 million Xbox Ones, 100 million PCs, and 3 million players played their top franchise or their second biggest franchise at launch week when they basically could have got this game for $1. 3 million players. And since that, we've had 0 announcements of players. We've had 0 announcements on statistics, and the game has dropped out almost completely out of the top 20. So please tell me I'm fear-mongering again when the statistics just prove that what I'm talking about is truth and facts, and in fact, not fear-mongering. So somewhere along the line, Microsoft is going to have to go back and actually listen to what gamers are saying about this franchise and change something drastically so that we can get something, so that they can make something happen for it. Because let's just be real, so far what they've done hasn't been great, and it hasn't been, what we've expected. I heard how Gears was going to be a game changer or Gears 5 was going to be a game changer because they had more time, they had a bigger budget, they were taking risks, and at the end of the day, all that stuff proved to be 1 extra point on Metacritic score and 4 spots worse on the NPD at launch, right? And 0 statistics talked about. That's unheard of, okay? That it's been 5 weeks and we haven't had an update on players or anything like that, and the statistics keep showing that less and less people are actually playing it. Hey, if you guys are just joining me, please hit the like button. We are closing in on 400 people. Holy cow. We are at over 100 likes. Please, let's get us well over 100 likes. I definitely do appreciate it. I'm one of the only people that'll bring it to you, the truth, the facts, none of that sugar-coated nonsense. You know what I mean? People want to sugarcoat this, sugarcoat that, but I'm the only one that'll be out here telling you the truth, that this game is in decline. It's not what it was. This game used to push consoles, and now it doesn't push a shopping cart. So, yeah, people can think what they want, but at the end of the day, the Gears of War that I know was a game where people talked about it months and months in advance. People went out and bought an Xbox for it. Xbox would win NPD, not sell the least amount that it sold all year. Like, how do you even do that? Okay, even if you go, well, Game Pass effect, crap. Well, why isn't anybody buying an Xbox to play it on Game Pass then? Why did it lose to PlayStation, and why did it, which had no games come out, I guess, in September? So why did it lose to PlayStation, right? Why did a Zelda remake from a Super Nintendo game crush it, Okay? Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I really 100% do not understand it. Microsoft does not get that not everything has to be games as a service, and not everything should be, laden with microtransactions, and, not everything should be, a certain way just because you're a services company, right? Like, that not everything has to be that way. That's the main thing that I would stress, and I think that Gears of War getting lumped in with the terrible likes of State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, ReCore, right? Just lumped into Game Pass with those other games really is a disservice, because it was a good game. They could have done better, and now that franchise, maybe it's dead. I don't know. I would actually prefer them to do something else next time and then come back to Gears after, it's recovered. You have to get that taste out of people's mouth. I don't know what they got to do. Maybe reboot it, do the Pendulum Wars, do something. Okay, not everything has to be a trilogy, I guess. I don't know, but for me personally, it does seem like there is a bad taste in people's mouth. The game has gotten old, and somebody told me this morning, right, on Twitter, they said, you know what they said to me? They go, "Hey CG, there's franchise fatigue with Gears because it's the 5th one," and they were talking about this in regards to Zelda being ahead of it, and I said, "Isn't this like the 20th Zelda? And this is just a remake, to be honest with you." So yeah, if you look at the top 10, it's like NBA 2K, Borderlands 3. Okay, Borderlands 3 is obviously a huge hit. FIFA 20, Link's Awakening, Madden 20, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, then Gears 5, then Code Vein, then NHL 20, then Mario Kart 8, Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, Smash Brothers Ultimate, Spyro Trilogy, Red Dead Redemption 2, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Plants vs. Zombies, Marvel Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's still in the top 20, by the way. Catherine. I mean, this just goes to show you that probably the games leading up to Gears didn't really sell that much themselves. Like, you don't have to move much at this particular time of the year to be in the top 20, in my opinion, because Breath of the Wild is also number 20 here. And it just goes to show you that the sales for this game are probably incredibly low. I wouldn't say, I don't think the game has sold 1 million worldwide and has been out over a month. And this is a franchise that would sell millions. And you don't believe me, you can look it up, because Microsoft, believe it or not, used to announce numbers. They used to announce numbers, and they announced 27 million Gears of War sales. And now we get a point where they announce players instead of actual anything that's worthwhile in terms of actually talking about. So before anybody sits there and goes, "Oh, well, fear-mongering, blah, blah, blah," I mean, you just have to look at the facts, folks. I'm not saying that it can't be fixed. I'm saying what Microsoft is doing is what Disney's doing to Star Wars, man. This is like Gears of War 5 is the Last Jedi of Gears of War games. It's just not great. Let's see. Xeno Music, dude, but you're still here watching, man. You're still here watching. That's really a bad thing, If you have a problem with it, then that's a you problem. Hold on. 9Live says all those games are multi-plat. That's why they sold more. Stop fear-mongering. Dude, I hate to tell you this, but Gears wasn't even number 1 on the Xbox platform by itself. It only came in number 3. So is that fear-mongering too? More people more interested in Borderlands and NBA than Gears of War? Yeah, Xbox Enthusiast says, "Hey, crap, you're stuck with that Gears tattoo." Listen, a lot of people get stuff. Like, for me, it reminds me of a much better time, man. I was having a good time with the first few Gears games. I thought Gears 4 was a decent game, but they obviously needed to do something a little bit different. They tried to change it up with Gears 5 a little bit too much and kind of ruined the franchise. They casualized it to no end, and the people that are defending it aren't even the hardcore that play it. They're just Xbox Defense Force that is out there trying to pretend like this franchise is absolutely still great or still relevant, when the fact of the matter, it's not anymore. Could you imagine? Listen, God of War. What God of War was that? Like if you count the PSP God of Wars, what was this? Let me see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is like the 7th or 8th God of War, this last one. Yeah, they did retool it, which is what it needed. And it broke record, what, 15 million sold, game of the year, all this stuff. So it's not franchise fatigue. You just have to have a competent developer with a really good vision of what they want from the game. And that's something that Microsoft has kind of failed at with their games lately. They don't have really that kind of direction that you would think that is needed for these type of things. You know, that's really that's probably the biggest difference. You know, like Cliffy B seemed to have a direction for Gears of War. What's Bonnie Ross's direction for Halo? We don't even know. You know, what have we seen under her direction? Halo 4, Master Chief Collection, Halo 5. That's not a good trend, folks. That's called a bad trend. That's called a bad trend. Hey, everybody, as you guys get in here, please hit the like button. We are doing fantastic here today. It's been an absolute blast. We are still going strong. I'm going to keep going for a little bit longer just because I'm having a good time, and it's kind of fun to go back and forth with you guys, the fans. Are you surprised that Gears of War did as bad as it did in terms of sales? Like, we knew Game Pass was going to affect sales, despite the fact that... So who's to blame here? Did Phil lie when he said Game Pass helps games sell better, or was he, you know, or is it something else? Like, that's what I think I'm the most curious about right now. So Phil Spencer told us that Game Pass actually helps sales, and now we have a direct number that shows otherwise. So who's to blame here? What's to blame here? Is this something that, you know, Microsoft can do to fix, or is this another Phil huckster, Phil type thing that he talks out of his butt? Like, what's going on with this? What can be done here? Like, I would love to know this. Like, is this something that you guys think Phil lied about? Was he mistaken? Is he talking about? Because I can even maybe make up something for Phil what he's talking about. Like, if you're a game, it's like today I saw this article and it was like, people who subscribe to Game Pass plays more games, and I poked fun of that a little bit on Twitter. I was like, breaking news: people that subscribe to a game service with games plays more games. This just in: people that subscribe to Netflix watch more shows and more movies, because guess what? Water is wet. Of course, if you are a part of this service and there's games there, you're going to play more games. You're going to have more options to play. Okay, so of course you're going to play more games. It was like the most ridiculous way for Microsoft to try to spin something positive, right? And that's the stuff that I've been having the most problems with Microsoft, right? They look for the most ridiculous things to spin, right? Like, people that have Game Pass play more games. Well, no crap. Really? You think so? They have access to, you know, 150 games and they play more games. Imagine that. But again, going back to the Phil Spencer point, when you have a game like Butt Scratch Simulator that, you know, nobody was going to buy, and it's in Game Pass, and somebody plays it for a laugh, and they're like, hey, this is kind of goofy fun. Maybe me and my friends can get drunk and play this together. You know, I think, and you get a sale out of that. That's maybe a sale that wouldn't have happened. I get it. But when it comes to something like Gears of War or the next Halo, that's going to hamper sales. And nobody's paying $15 a month between now and next year. You are 14 long months away from the next AAA exclusive from Microsoft, Halo Infinite, if it doesn't get delayed. Nobody's going to continue to pay $15 a month between now and then, which is why, guess what? Microsoft changed their metrics for success again. They went from unit sales to monthly active users to percentage in growth. Not even the monthly active users. And even though Phil Spencer said monthly active users is the way you tell a healthy console ecosystem. And now they've dropped that. The reason why they dropped that, because when they report to their investors, they know they're going to have a big drop-off. Look at HBO, okay? HBO. Who subscribes to HBO, right? Maybe you did. Now let me ask you this. Who dropped their subscription to HBO the second Game of Thrones left and was done with? Probably a lot of people. And that's going to look bad. Microsoft can't look bad for the next 14 months with subscriptions dropping because they don't have anything to push Game Pass. Gears of War could have pushed Game Pass subscribers a little bit. It was $1, and it's their second biggest franchise. Halo will probably push subscriptions. But you need something more than just those things, and Microsoft hasn't proven that they can sustain that. They haven't proven that they can build their own game that can actually push sales. Xbox, the Beast 4K says Butt Scratch Simulator, is that on PS4? No, dude, that's an indie game on ID at Xbox, you know? TLR9 says, crap, did you see how everyone wishes Ybarra good luck on his next move? And he's been replying to almost everyone on Twitter, but Phil said something to him a few different times, and Mike didn't reply. Listen, there's something up there. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Supposedly Mike's going to announce what his next thing is that he's doing, and we'll have to see how that works, you know? I don't know. Something like, here's the thing. Mike was under strict, and I'll level with you, okay? Mike Ybarra and the entire Xbox crew are under strict orders on who they can follow and who they can respond to and what they can say and all this kind of stuff. There was different times where Mike Ybarra followed me on Twitter. He got in trouble for that. He followed somebody else on Twitter. He gets in trouble for that. You know what I mean? Like, they're under such constraints that they can't do anything. I don't blame the guy for leaving, okay? Steve says, think if you Xbox have a game like God of War and put it in Game Pass, they're killing the franchise with zero revenue. Here's the thing. That's why I said Gears 5 didn't make them any money. No matter how you swing it. Let's just say this. 3 million players they've had. Let's give them 3 million players. Let's give them 1 million sales. What's 1 million sales times $60? Somebody work that out. Okay? Because Gears of War 5 supposedly cost $100 million to make and advertise. So we'll give them 1 million in sales. We'll give them 2 million at Game Pass. There's no way that equals to $100 million. It just isn't happening. So they actually lost money. Now, what happens with Halo Infinite, which supposedly has a $500 million budget? Okay, what happens if that game fails? What happens if that game isn't up to par and people don't like it and it gets bad review scores? I think that's the end of Halo. You know, like, can you really sink that much money in Halo again? So I'll give you a good example using a movie analogy. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I know enough about what happened. Star Trek 1, the motion picture, was horrible, right? Big budget, boring, you know, they spent a lot of money on it. It was bad. Then they took it back a step, back sort of almost to like the show roots, and did Wrath of Khan, which was universally praised as like the best one. And they cut the budget, and you know what I mean? It was more real, like, and people loved it. You know, bigger budgets don't necessarily mean better games for a big franchise like that. Now, I'm not saying it has to be an indie budget. You still need that big budget, but you don't need $500 million to make a great Halo game. Maybe focus on making the story great, making the combat great, making it fluid, doing something that hasn't been done. I just saw someone in the chat go, well, watch them make Halo into a Destiny type game. That's my fear. Phil Spencer loves Destiny. It keeps people subscribing, right? Like, why wouldn't you want to make that into a Destiny type game? That's exactly my point, right? Like, that's exactly been my point completely. You know, I hope that Microsoft understands and listens to the critiques. And it really is kind of a shame that so many people damage control what happens with Microsoft and their best franchises. Like, listen, a person like me, whether you want to, I'm not maybe the person to listen to on Halo, so to speak, okay? There's other people that are way more invested in Halo. I love the campaigns most of all in Halo, and the last one sucked. The campaign was awful. But when it comes to Gears of War, you don't trust the guy with the tattoo and hundreds of hours in the games? You don't trust that guy? You don't trust that guy with telling you what's wrong with the franchise or that it's going in a way that, you know, that's not good, okay? Like, I'm just being honest. The game is a solid game that had so many bugs at launch that I couldn't even progress my game. Not only that, but, you know, it's just been a really piss poor situation all along with, you know, the way that they've done these characters. These characters suck, you know? The only interesting part to this game has been the flashes with Marcus and the kind of reality there. Like, the new characters are all bad. I was like, man, anything that bad that happened to them, I was like, good. You know, you guys suck. These characters are terrible. All of them. It's not just Kate. It's JD and Dell, and that whole group was just a terrible group of characters. It's like if Millennials had a Gears game, they would drop the Of War, and it would be Gears 5. Okay, it's just not a great Gears game, and it really, you know, it just kind of sucks to see that my favorite franchise, or used to be favorite franchise, kind of dropped so far from grace. Hey, we hit over 400 people watching. Please hit the like button. We can get to over 150 likes, man. I would really appreciate that. It would mean a lot to me. Let's see. Hold on. I'm not sure if Xbox the Beast is talking to me. He says, because I'm a single-player pleb. Dude, I used to play hundreds and hundreds of hours in the multiplayer in Gears. Let's see. Nine Live says, why don't you talk about Sony's back-to-back 70 metagames? What back-to-back metagames, dude? I can talk about Death Stranding a bit, the future game of the year. Maybe you guys have seen some of the little pre-review hype for that, which, by the way, they allow the embargo to lift a whole week before the game releases, which means that they have a lot of confidence in that score. I'm telling you, man, I'm guessing 90 Metacritic, but a lot of people are thinking 90 plus, and another game of the year candidate. So yeah, you know, like Sony really knows what it's doing. They know how to really appeal to gamers and get people excited about their platform. Again, and I just feel like a lot of people look at, and myself included, right? Look, I know, and listen, you might not be a CG fan. Maybe you're a Mooch fan. Mooch is a friend of mine. Mooch hasn't finished Gears of War 5 yet either. He just hasn't felt that urge to, and he's finished all the other ones and plays Gears mostly for the campaign. So what's that tell you? A lot of people are just like that, where you've lumped Gears in with these other crappy games, and there's other games out. So that's the way I feel about it. Like, maybe I'll go back one day and finish it, but if I don't, I'm not sweating it, because it's just another Gears game, and it's probably the worst one in a while. You know, both these ones have been really bad. Xbox the Beast 4K. No crap, your subs are dropping. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Listen, I've been very honest about it. So, let me say this. This is what I heard. Crap, you're only talking up PlayStation now to gain subs and to gain views. And then I mentioned, well, both those things are down. Oh, well, you just want attention. So which one is it? Am I doing it for attention? Am I doing it because I'm legitimately an upset, like, Xbox guy that spent, like, $5,000 on Xbox this generation to get screwed over completely with no games, and the head of Xbox continually lies and tells people that there's going to be the biggest E3 ever, the best E3 ever, the biggest Xbox lineup ever, and now it's to the point where literally all Microsoft does is announce new controller colors. They have some weird host miss high fives during their shows and never announce a freaking new AAA exclusive. That's what Xbox is known for. So you're here watching me, you know, and no matter what, as long as I have something to say, I'm going to say it. You know, that's just how it's going to be. What's up, Ice Queen? How's it going? I appreciate you stopping by. Greg says, hey, crap, I should have my PS4 around Xmas time or just after. Can't wait. Dude, I would suggest playing stuff like God of War, obviously, Detroit, Uncharted. You play through that whole franchise if you haven't already, but Uncharted 4 and 2 are probably the two best. The Last of Us. You know, Bloodborne, I hear good things about it. It's not really my cup of tea, but, you know, I would definitely suggest it. There's just so many great games that you can play. Spider-Man, just, you know, have fun, man. That's the most important thing. Go out there and have a lot of fun. Xbox the Best says 100 hours of Gears multiplayer, but you said you only play... No, I said that that's not what I said. I've played hundreds of hours in Gears multiplayer through the past. This new one, I don't play... I'm not playing it at all. You know what I mean? That's just how I play. You know, I haven't played anything. Let's see. Yeah, I was just talking to Greg for a second. I play the multiplayer. I used to play Gears multiplayer. I don't play it anymore. It's not really my thing anymore. I have insecurities. Oh, I guess I do. What am I exactly insecure about, guy? I absolutely have responded to every time anybody has said anything to the chat. I've hid nothing. I talk about everything. There's absolutely no insecurities whatsoever from me. I've been honest. I have said that Xbox has completely ruined my love of gaming, especially for Xbox. I haven't even turned my Xbox on in a month. So, you know, again, just let me know what exactly I'm insecure about, and I would love to know. So, yeah. Let's see. Yes, exactly. Microsoft also hired those devs to make AA filler for Game Pass. I mention this too because people go, well, what do you think these studios are doing? CG, what do you think they're doing? They just hired all these studios. So I go down the line and I go, okay, Ninja Theory is making 2 AA games. In Exile makes AA games. Double Fine makes AA games. Undead Labs makes AA games. Compulsion Games makes AA games. Those are 5 of the new studios that Microsoft purchased, and they make these small AA games. Those are Game Pass games. Nobody's buying an Xbox to play Psychonauts 3 or Wasteland 4 or Bard's Tale 10 or We Happy Few 2. Those aren't big games. Microsoft needs heavy-hitting new AAA exclusive IPs. So, you might look to the Initiative, right? Their game is in the early stages of development. 2024, 2025, not out of the question. You still have 4 years to go. You look at Obsidian. They're about to release The Outer Worlds. They've started another game just now. You're still 4 to 5 years away, 2024. So those are the 2 that could possibly make AAA exclusives from Microsoft, and they're still 3 to 5 years out, if they're lucky, okay? So you can sit there and try to go, oh, well, this, that, or the other thing. Maybe the Fable, but guess what? Fable is supposedly further out than we even thought. That team just moved into a second studio in April of this year and only had 60 members, 60 employees. They needed 200. They're hiring still. So, yeah, to think that we're going to get anything amazing just absolutely is not true. Judah, this is a funny one right here. He says, we know what these studios are doing, taking breaks and posting that to Twitter. Exactly. And I get crap for that, right? Because I always retweet these. But I have never seen people at work take as many breaks or lunches or brunches or tea times or wine times or that these people do. No wonder their games have been bad and they take so long to create, because these people seems like they're more out there partying than anything else. It's absolutely ridiculous. The noob of games says these Xbox warriors have an emotional connection to them. Ignore the stupid comics. Listen, I don't mind the stupid comments because I try to be as honest and open as I can be. And I feel like people get surprised by that. Like that guy's trying to troll or whatever. It is what it is. You know, he's like this. He's just a random person on the internet. So it's like he's not going to get under my skin because that stuff doesn't bother me. Like, look how long I've been doing this, man. I'm cool with the PlayStation dudes that used to tell me to drink bleach or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take it personally. It doesn't mean anything to me. It just kind of is what it is. 9 Live says Ninja Theory is hiring for AAA games. Listen, 9 Lives, you're wrong. They're hiring people for sure, but they have 75 people right now. 30 people making Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge certainly not a AAA game. Their other game certainly doesn't have enough people on it to be considered a AAA game. Go back to Matt Booty's interview with Game Informer about 6 weeks ago, and he said, we want Ninja Theory to make AA games the way that they made Hellblade. Right? So if Matt Booty, the head of Xbox Game Studios, says Ninja Theory is making AA games like Hellblade, then who do we believe? Okay? I'm just saying. A 45-person team is not making a AAA game. It's just not going to happen. Hold on. This might be a really, really good question. What is your name? Dumoxes. He says Rise, Sunset Overdrive, Dead Rising, Sea of Thieves, Quantum Break are not AAA exclusives. Okay, let me retort that. Rise was a game that came out in 2013, so 6 years ago. Dead Rising was exclusive in 2013, so 6 years ago. Sunset Overdrive came out in 2014, so 5 years ago. Quantum Break came out in 2016 and we'll never see a sequel to, so over 3 years ago. And Sea of Thieves came out in, I believe, was announced in 2015, I think launched in 2017 or 18. But you can even look at that as a AAA, but there's not even a single-player element to that game. There's no game there. It's just look for the treasure and bring it back. That's it. And I like the game because it's fun to get drunk with your friends and play that game. But let's be real, it's not even really a game. So, yeah. So you mentioned these games, which, by the way, let's look at the review scores. I think Rise is sitting at a 59 Metacritic. Dead Rising is sitting, I think that one actually did okay, and I like that game, Dead Rising 3. I think it's a 78. Sea of Thieves is, a 68. Quantum Break is a 71. Sunset Overdrive was, I think, an 83 and really good. But again, we'll never get a sequel to that because they didn't greenlight one when they had the chance, and now that's owned by Sony. So, yeah, just saying. Dual Purpose says, at Xbox Studios, you hear Lionel Richie all night long playing in parties, no game designing. Exactly. Exactly my exactly my point. Florenzo, he says, have to go. I'll watch the rest later. Hey, thank you very much. Please hit the like button before you go if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Xbox The Beast 4K says, Uncharted is a dead game. LMAO, despite the fact that we just got official numbers that Uncharted 4 sold 16 million copies on PS4 alone. Uncharted 4 just sold 16 million copies on PS4 alone, but it's a dead game. But you would probably, Xbox The Beast 4K, tell me that Gears is fine, right? You'll tell me that Gears of War is fine, and will you even respond to this? Do you have the guts to respond to this, Xbox The Beast 4K? You just told me Uncharted is a dead game when it sold 16 million copies, but you'll tell me that Gears is alive and well, charting at number 7, and not having any other announcements, and almost dropping completely out of the top 20, out of the top 20 on Xbox games played. Come on now. The Noob of Gamers says, the people with review copies of Death Stranding is saying it's a life-changing. What is your thoughts on the game from your point of view? I think Kojima is a bit of a genius. He's odd. His games are weird, but nobody can deny that they sell extremely well. You know? So that's what AJ Felton says. Quantum Break was a 77. My bad, man. 77. Go to heaven. Still, not a great game, and we'll never see a sequel to that, AJ. We'll never see a sequel to it. We could have got one, but yeah, it's definitely not. That's, you know, we'll definitely not get one. So yeah, see, that's what happens when these trolls come at me and they don't have the intelligence level that I do, and they try to say something and you get them caught. Like, oh, tell me that Uncharted is a dead franchise, and then try to damage control Gears 5. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. Wait, Xbox The Beast says 16 million isn't a lot. Crap. So 16 million for one isn't a lot. So what has Gears 5 sold then? What, the entire Gears franchise was only at 27 million, and that's multiple games. And then here we have a single game selling 16 million. So this game has sold by itself 11 million less than pretty much every Gears game combined, and you're telling me it's not a lot? You're telling me that's not a lot? Like, dude, get out of here, man. You tried to troll, and you got emotional, and, you know, I caught you, and then kind of busted you. So, like, get out of here, man. Xbox hasn't sold 16 million copies of all of their exclusives combined this generation, right? And you'll never convince me otherwise. They haven't sold anything this generation. Completely terrible. They've done absolutely nothing this entire generation. They never announce numbers. There's a reason why. Half Pint says Gears numbers have been dropping since after a week of being released and was out of the conversation as soon as Borderlands 3 hits. Only news is the coalition banning quitters. Yeah, don't want to get caught with their terrible servers, because then you might get banned. Peace Walker did not sell well. Well, listen, Seth. I mean, that was a PSP game. I actually liked that one because I got it on the remastered Metal Gear collection. I actually like that a lot. So, Impatient Life says, did Halo 5 sell 5 million even? I heard it did. I don't know. Like, it probably is the worst selling Halo. So, you know, hold on. Xbox The Beast says 30 million sold for Gears. Between what, 6 games, dude? And then you're going to try and tell me that 16 million isn't good for one game with Uncharted? Dude, I mean, yeah, Emerson says, stop, crap, he's already dead. You know, listen, and it's not like I set out to do that, you know what I mean? But the guy keeps coming at me, trying to troll me, and it's like, I'm not like one of those other clowns that does this, right? Like, I'm very intelligent, and I also am very quick-witted. So, and I also have no problem just being honest about stuff that, you know what I mean? You want to go, oh, your subs are dropping. Okay, well, guess what, man? I do this stuff for fun. You know, I still have some. I was never one to sit up here and tout my subs. You guys and other YouTubers tend to keep track of my subs more than I do. I have no clue how many subs I have. Like, I look on here and it's been stuck at this same number for the last month. So I don't even think it's accurate or updated at all, you know? So I don't know. You know, every time I glance at it, it's 58,800. Hey, you know what? You know how many subs I expected to get when I started this channel? 1,000. So, hey, I beat that. You know, if I stop YouTubing tomorrow, how many other people, and I'm looking at my views right now, almost 40 million views, okay? Like, you can sit there and try to down me or clown me or whatever you want to do, but the bottom line is this: for a small YouTuber, and yes, I'm a small YouTuber, I have managed to do very well. I've managed to make gaming news myself. How many other people talk about me in their podcasts, right? Phil Spencer made me a a topic on IGN, Game Informer. I was the guy who canceled the pre-order because somebody else got to play it, despite the fact that that was never the real issue. Okay, so I was a guy who made the news despite not actually being a game myself. So I've had a blast doing this stuff. I've had a really fun time. So you can try and dog me or say this or that, but one thing's for sure. When I decided to be honest, I was like, I can't mislead Xbox gamers into thinking that Xbox is great or hunky-dory or that everything's going to be fine on Xbox, because the way that they're going is bad. And it's not really a place where it's going to be set up for success. Like people think that this xCloud stuff is going to save Xbox or something. And how is it? Like, people were actually tweeting this stuff. A controller next to a 4.5-inch phone saying the future is now. Right? I thought the future was 8K or 4K sitting back playing on our big TVs, right? And if I knew everybody was going to be so content playing on a little 4.5-inch screen, lugging around a stupid Bluetooth Xbox controller, like, man, we could have probably saved ourselves a lot of money, right? You know, screw getting a Scarlet or a PS5. Let's all play on a 4.5-inch screen, right? Because that's the future. It's now. Like, give me a break, man. Give me a damn break. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's see. Eric the Beard says, funny thing is you currently have more viewers than Gears 5 on Twitch and Mixer. Ouch. Ouch. That's bad. Sonic says, Xbox the Beast got Crapgamer's Ultra Combo. Yeah, exactly right. I'm about to get out of here pretty soon, though. But listen, I like doing these live streams, man. People, obviously, you know, some people still come out and check it out. I really do appreciate it. Listen, Gears can be saved. Xbox isn't in dire straits. They're going to continue to do, you know, okay. For me personally, I feel like they've kind of ruined some brands that used to be really, really good. So I definitely appreciate you guys, but I do have to get out of here because I got some stuff I got to do. Please hit the like button, share it out. I appreciate everyone. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Rack 'em up, and I will catch you guys later. Maybe even tomorrow if I have enough time. And M&C will be back for sure, but make sure you guys check out Crossfire as well on Mooch's channel. Have a great day. Peace out. Rack 'em up.